Greetings, welcome, and good day. You are now tuned into the 11th episode of the Seasoned Vet Podcast. I'm so happy you can make it to another chapter of this show. This week we're joined by a retired Coast Guard corpsman turned education advocate. LaTonya Slade joined the Coast Guard immediately after graduating high school in 1990 and has been dedicated to a life of service ever since. She always knew she wanted to work in the medical field, so becoming a health services technician was an easy decision for her to make. While in the Coast Guard, she was constantly expected to work in leadership roles that exceeded her rank, even when there were higher-ranking people around to fill those roles. Her grit and work ethic are what always pulled her through the tough times, even when those tough times were brought on by the challenges of single motherhood. Nowadays, LaTonya can be found using her grit and work ethic to help families with special needs students at Full Potential Education Advocacy and Consulting. And that's why I've titled this episode, Advocate, Educate, and Empower. Friend! Hello, how's it going now?
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. Hey, thanks for taking the time to meet with me today.
You're welcome.
Look, hey, audience, I broke her away from the church for a second, so Jesus forgive me.
He will.
He knows my heart.
Yeah,
all
that's right. We're good.
That's what's up.
Absolutely.
Before we start, is there a name you would like for me to call you?
LaTonya's fine.
Is LaTonya fine? All right, LaTonya.
Thank you.
LaTonya, what is your connection to the service?
My connection goes back to my dad.
Come on.
So my father, he's retired Army, and my stepfather is also retired Army. So I didn't grow up with my dad, but I grew up more so with my stepfather, who was Army. So that, and then of course I got military all through my family, all the services, and I'm the only Coast Guard.
Wow. So are they like ashamed of you because you no?
Look, let me tell you, when I was a kid and we were stationed at Fort Hood, and it was like pouring out, raining outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I asked my mom, I said, is he out there and all that? Because he was out in the field. She was like, yep. I was like, nope. I mean, I had no dreams of going to the military at that time anyways.
Right.
But still, when I remember that, and I remember, the soldiers, what they call them GIs, at that time, carrying around their, their...
Those rucksacks?
Yeah, I was
Lord.
Nope. So when it came time for me to make that decision, I was like, my dad was like, why don't you think about the Army? No, thank you. I will not. I didn't even think about the Coast Guard. I was like, Army was totally out.
Wait, so you saw your dad working in the pouring rain, and you were like, no to the Army, but you joined the Coast Guard?
Look, I get so much flack because I'm from the mountains of North Carolina.
Okay.
So there's no water other than a lake, right?
Okay.
That's the closest water. So I always get, what made you choose the Coast Guard? There's no water. I'm like,
right.
Well, I was going to go to college, but
Mm-hmm.
my mother was a single mother at that time with 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm just trying to get up out of here. I want to be a doctor. And then the dude comes from Charlotte, recruiting center from Charlotte, comes to my school all the way up in the mountains of North Carolina, tells me about the Coast Guard, asks me what I want to be. I said, I want to be a doctor. And he said, well, we have HS, and I'm like, you can, you can go to school and da-da-da. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, yep, I'm out of here.
Right.
I was 17. My mom, she had to sign. I turned 18 in boot camp.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You had a boot camp birthday?
I had a boot camp birthday.
You didn't tell them that, did you? Or did they know?
No.
Oh.
Of course not. Why would I do that?
Right.
I had already been in there for over a month.
Yeah.
Why would I do that? I already knew what they were doing
right.
to us. I'm not telling them nothing. No. No.
Happy birthday, LaTonya. Guess what we got for you?
Get out. Yeah, no. I'm not doing that. Motivation, dedication. Doing it. No.
Good.
So, I turned 18 in boot camp.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, a long line of military personnel.
Yeah.
Mostly Army. You're the only Coast Guardsman.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Army, Air Force. My aunt retired from the Air Force. I had a cousin who was a pilot in the Air Force. He got out. He didn't finish up. I think my other cousin was in the Marines.
Okay.
Yeah. My son is now in the Army, too.
Come on.
Yeah. So.
Y'all doing it. The whole family.
Everybody. Yeah. I don't know, we crazy. No, I'm just kidding.
It takes all types, all right?
It really does. You know what? I think if I didn't have my upbringing, the way it was and knowing the military, I probably wouldn't have moved in that direction.
Right on.
You know, it wasn't my first choice, but
the exposure,
yeah,
it opened your eyes to
it
what the experience could be. Yeah, gave you another option.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you can't call them. Look, have you ever met someone in the military that wasn't crazy?
No.
See, so it's not just your family.
There's always something.
It's everybody's family.
Yeah, something. Yes, there's something. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And don't stop when you get out either.
No, and that's why we give VA benefits. For exactly that.
That's right. That's right.
So your first choice of branch of service, not the Coast Guard.
Nope. It was actually the Air Force.
Okay. All right.
My ASVAB wasn't high enough.
That's what they say. It probably was.
So, yeah. But so Coast Guard became it for me.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Either Air Force or Coast Guard. She said, I'm a go blue no matter who.
My favorite color.
Heard that. How do you feel about your time in uniform? Does any particular period stand out to you?
20 years, I got a lot of time to stand out to me, but you don't have all day, and neither do I. So, boot camp was a big eye opener for me.
Of course.
I was athletic when I was in high school, so
Which sports?
I was track.
Come on.
I ran track, but I didn't do that distance stuff. So when it came down to that run, girl, you talking about, and plus I didn't know how to swim either, believe it or not. I could swim, but
you joined the branch that required a swim test.
Yes.
Look.
Well, let me tell you, I spent my time in the pool, when everybody else was out there running or, doing this and doing that. Yeah, they treated me pretty good, though, because, when it was time for me to do my swim test, it was like, you want to get in the hot tub? Yeah. Hopped in the hot tub, got out, did my test, I did good. But then when it came down to that run, boy, I think one of the people that had to say, grab my shoulder, almost there. I grabbed his shoulder, he took off running. I thought my legs about to break
Lord.
off. And then he said, let go. I had to let go and then get across the field. I was like, shoot, I about died.
You got carried across the finish line.
Yes, I did. So that was, just making it through that was tough for me. I mean, and I was athletic and stuff, so, but it was still tough, but I got through it. And so that, I was like, okay, I can do this.
Right on.
Yeah, I can do this.
Did you have a little more muscle once you left?
Oh, yeah. I was still weighing like a buck 9, buck 10, soaking wet. I was skinny, but I was all muscle.
All muscle at that point,
muscle, yeah.
Yeah, you'd been doing push-ups for 2 months.
For real, right? Push-ups, running, all kinds of craziness. But, yeah, so that was, it kind of gave me a boost that, okay, I can get through this. And I was not about to do another 8 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever. I was not getting reverted. That was not happening.
You didn't get reverted?
No.
Good for you.
No, because I had to pass that swim test, or else I would have been. I was like, no, I was not doing it. Motivation.
I heard that.
That's the motivation to get it done. So
right
on. I got it done. Yeah.
But as a person who did get reverted. Good
for
you, though. Good for you.
Look, I wasn't trying to be there no longer than I needed to be.
Right on.
No, not happening. No. Yeah, so no.
I'm a little jealous now. You mean it's folks that don't get reverted? And you were one of them? Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but...
How do you think your experience could have been improved?
If I had a better relationship with my father early on in my career, I think it could have been very much more improved because, he did 27 years actually in the Army.
Wow.
So, so he knew the ins and outs and, and I think that I would have called him more and stuff, but our relationship did not heal and blossom until later on in my career. So I definitely think that talking to him, because I did, after we did become a little bit closer, I did talk to him more. But by then, I had already,
You were grown.
I ain't asking him for nothing. That's where it was. I ain't asking him nothing, I ain't asking for nothing.
Right on.
But it would have been helpful if we had that relationship.
Yeah. Kind of a mentorship, a guiding.
Yeah. But I mean, I wasn't lacking in that area. Well, at least... No, I wasn't lacking. I won't say I was lacking.
You weren't lacking, but it could have been better.
It could have been better. Absolutely.
I feel you.
Absolutely. Especially from someone I knew I could trust.
Yeah.
So my dad, he would have been, great.
It would have been nice, yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell me about a time when you experience something, either good or bad, and you know that you experienced that because you're a black woman.
Okay.
Look, after 2 decades, you got a story. At least one.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and this was in boot camp. So in boot camp, I was like the yeoman of our company.
Whoop, whoop. Come on, yeoman.
Yeah, I was a yeoman. So I had to go over to the battalion adjutant. You know, I forgot why we had to do that, but we had to go to the battalion adjutant. It was a brother. I don't know. I think he was either a chief or senior chief. Probably a senior chief, because I think he was like a senior chief. But we had to go to battalion adjutant. Mm-hmm. So I went to see him, and this was like about the end of boot camp. You know, we had already gotten our orders and everything. Mm-hmm. And so he asked me. He said, "Where you have orders?" And I said, "Coast Guard Cutter Hamilton."
All right.
And he was like, "Okay." Like, well, he says, "You're like a siren." I'm like, "What's that?" He said, "You know, a siren, like, you know, like the mermaid, or, you know, ocean, like sirens, like they called." So he says, "So as a woman and being on a ship," mm-hmm. he says, you can either be a bitch, a whore, or a slut."
I hate all of this right now. Mm-hmm. Immediately. I don't like it.
And I said, "I guess I'm gonna have to be a bitch."
Right on.
He was like, "Okay." And I was like, and that has stuck with me. It stuck with me through my whole career. As you can see, I'm been out for like since 2010, Congrats. And I still think about it. Thank you. And you know, but that was like, I was like, okay.
I hate it.
So I guess I got to choose what it is I'm going to be right now before I go to this unit, because you know I've never been on the ship before. I've never been. About 15
I'm sorry.
women.
I just thought about something. Aren't a whore and a slut the same thing? You had 3 options and 2 of them was the same.
Oh, hold on. Back it up. You're right. It was a bitch, a whore, or a dyke.
Oh, okay.
There we go. The other one. Look, I had to back that. I told you, it's been a long time.
Look, it took me a second, too.
I was like, wait, yeah, you're right.
I was thinking about the options.
Yeah, you're right. I was like, yes, I guess I'm going to have to be a bitch. You know, it's like... You know, I mean, why did it have to be one of those 3? Why couldn't I be something else? Exactly. You know, because I was going to a ship of a little over 200 people, mm-hmm. With 15 females on it, including me.
Wow.
You know, so...
I hope for the sake of the ship, it was just 15 bitches.
Look, it was not.
Oh, wow.
But.
All right.
You know, I mean, that's when I learned how to, when they said curse like a sailor, that's when I learned how to curse like a sailor. I mean, I was like, I'm just going to have to be what I have to be. But, you know.
Little country girl from North Carolina learning how to curse for the first time.
No, I wouldn't say that. I was a little angel when I went down. I wasn't an angel, but, you know, that whole situation was like totally new to me. You know, that like threw me back, especially because it was coming from a black man.
Yeah.
That's what, I don't know, maybe he was telling me that to prepare me for something.
Right.
You know, and I look at it and I'm like, I get it. But dang, 18-year-old girl and never, you know, hadn't seen anywhere outside the United States, you know.
Just swam for the first time.
just kept her head above water long enough. You know, this is what you say, you know. But, you know, I appreciate it in a way because it was motivation again.
What an introduction, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was motivation. I have to try to look at the side of this, what he said, as trying to prepare you for what's to come or what may come.
I feel like a little more tact could have been used.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But here we are. This is 1990, okay?
Oh, tact. So that was all the tech that 1990 had to
That's
offer?
all that was there. That's it. That was it in the military. And I was lucky I got that, I think.
Wow.
Honestly, I believe I was lucky that I got that much.
In the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad.
Mm-hmm. That's when they could beat your tail. They could take you down in the bosun's hole. And I mean, not women, but, the rules were there, but
they were highly ignored.
Exactly. Because it was tradition, or it was, you know, everybody, you know, this is how everybody did it, you know, or said it or whatever. So it was there, but
hate it.
That's what it was. And I don't believe he said that to any of the white yeomen. know he didn't say it to them. Ain't no way in the world.
No, I don't. I'm pretty sure he would not have felt safe or comfortable saying that to any other demographic except you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
There's a certain amount of I can get away with this that comes with. Yeah, I hate that shit. So, LaTonya, when you brought complaints up to your chain of command, do you feel like you were heard?
I would have to say it depends.
Okay.
It depends on who the complaint was about.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I didn't complain a lot, but, you know, if I had an issue with somebody, you know, and I say, hey, this is what, you know, what's going on. Well, you know, this, and that, you know, it's explain it away or mansplain it, you know, because...
They came up with excuses for this person?
Exactly. Yeah, excuses. Yeah. Until that person complained about me because I was like, I either cursed them out or I was about to beat their ass. I mean, so, honestly, that was it. I mean, because... Oh, now you want to say something. I already told you what was going on.
When I complained about him, it was like, let me explain this. But when he complains about me, like, it's actual action being taken. Okay, yes.
No, I mean, I never got in trouble for stuff like that. But still, it's like, you know, and the times when I did complain about somebody, it was more of, it was usually about another woman.
Okay.
Another female. That's, you know, another female.
Okay.
Yeah. When it came down to men, I didn't really go to my command. I went to people that I knew that were senior to me, black men or women in the Coast Guard, mainly men, because I think there's only like one black female that I really would talk to when I was younger, and as I got.
I mean, but how many black women were you actually exposed to early in your career?
Here?
But
I was exposed to them
in the military,
but I didn't really know them. Not a whole lot at all.
Exactly,
not a whole lot.
There's not a lot of us that exist in the capacity of the military.
Yeah, there's no real talking, you know, and building a, you know, camaraderie between black women in the Coast Guard because there's so few of us, and wherever we are, you know, if you know West Coast, East Coast, North, East, you know, I mean, it's like you know we're all over the place. So
right.
So
they rarely put a lot of us in one place.
Unless you're in D.C., Virginia.
Oh, yes.
Those are the two main places, or maybe New Orleans, and even there's not that very many. You know, not many black women, or there wasn't anyway. So, but it was here. That's when I knew I was exposed to most black women.
Same, honestly.
In this area.
In the beginning of your career, when you needed guidance and mentorship, were those resources provided, or did you have to seek them out?
I had to seek them out.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there were the people that I met were here in the Virginia area. The people that mentored me or that I could call on if I had a question about something, and I met them here. And no matter where they went, I could still call them.
Right on.
No matter where they were. Where I was, I could still call them. And so that was a blessing to me because it was so few of us. I mean, I was stationed in Yorktown. I'm walking down the sidewalk and I see this brother. He's coming the other direction. And we're like, you stationed here? Yeah, you stationed here? Where you work? Black people. You know, I mean, it was literally like that.
Yeah.
You see somebody and it's like, wow, you know, all right, I see you. You know, okay.
Look, not much has changed.
Yeah, so it was crazy, you know, because you likely not see too many of us in one particular place. So the people that I've met in the Coast Guard, I'm still friends with them today. I mean, we're like family. Tyrone for one, you know, and there's other people that are.
Shouts out to Master Chief.
You know, there are people that I'm still friends with that were senior to me, that we're Facebook friends, we're friends.
Love it.
Yeah, they helped me grow up in the Coast Guard. They helped me grow up.
So you sought out your mentorship. You sought out guidance. Well, that kind of segues us into the next question. That is, were you purposeful about building your village? Have you been able to make friends with other Black lady veterans? Sounds like yes.
Yeah, I did. Unfortunately, it was more male veterans, Black male veterans, than there were Black female veterans. I mean, I'm still friends with one of our first in the Coast Guard,
Right
black
on.
female. She was a first, and we still cool. And every time I go to something, and she's there. She's everywhere. She is everywhere, which is cool because everybody knows her.
That's what's up.
She's retired. She was one of our first. She's good people. So we're in contact. Even the women that are still in the Coast Guard that I met that are senior now, they're either officers or they're chiefs, or they're, mainly officers and chiefs because I came up early, but I'm still friends with them. So it's like, when are you retiring? So we're still keeping those connections going because we do consider ourselves family. We do have that commonality.
Absolutely.
We have things in common, like the Coast Guard and, some of the experiences that we may have had. There's still a break in that, that closeness.
Right.
So I've always kept my circle small. So
Right on. Right. Look,
so that's just how I am. I've always kept my circle small.
that's protection. That's self-preservance. I get that. Also, this is my own assumption. Maybe what's contributed to you having a lot of African American male friends is that you've just been exposed to more. Like in the military, you're just exposed to more men and more black men than you are exposed to black women. Like you've had more opportunities to make friendships with a certain demographic, and you've had less opportunity to make friends with African American ladies. I mean, honestly, how many black women did you work with over the years? Probably not a lot.
Now, I think that most black women at one time I've ever been stationed with and really close proximity was when I was on the ship.
Okay.
And that whole situation rubbed me the wrong way. So that kind of tailored my view on things too a little bit.
You got into it with a sister? No.
It wasn't even that. I'll tell you that story shortly. Yeah. I'll keep it brief,
Hey, look, take all the time you need. Like I told you, I'm gonna cut the fat.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
The Coast Guard cutter Hamilton. I was meaning to ask this earlier because I don't know where it docks and gets out of. Where is that stationed?
The Hamilton that I was on is decommissioned.
Okay.
Yeah, I was on the first Hamilton.
Come on.
Yeah, it has been decommissioned. It was the sister ship to the Chase. Coast Guard got a Chase.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where did it come out of?
It came out of Boston when I first
Okay.
reported there, and then we moved home port from Boston to San Pedro, California.
Oh, wow. Like, y'all switched coast.
Yep,
Okay.
whole coast. Whole coast. Yep.
Y'all really did guard all the coast.
Yep. All the way around. Yeah. So that was interesting. Yep.
When did you finally make your way to Virginia?
Let's see. I came to Virginia after corpsman school.
Okay.
So in 93? Yeah, 93.
Oh, you're a Virginian now. All right.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely a Virginian. I've been here. I've been stationed here, 3-4 times. So.
This is home. All right.
Yeah. I'm a transplant. Yeah, rooted. Got married here, all that good stuff.
That's what's up. Corpsman school in the 90s. That was still Petaluma, right?
Yep.
Right on. So some things never change.
Petaluma, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Tanya. LaTonya.
It's fine. Either one, it's fine.
Like, let me know. I don't want to call you something you don't want.
I'll let you know if you're calling me something I don't want. But that's good. LaTonya's fine.
All right, LaTonya. Can you tell me a war story? A story where you were tested, but you came out on top. Be the hero.
Oh, war story.
Give me a Superman moment.
Oh, Lord.
Superwoman.
Superwoman moment, huh? Wow.
Look, being a black lady, you've got a lot of war stories. They may not seem big to you. They may not seem like wars or even battles, but anytime that you've been tested and you came out on top, that's a win. And we're going to count it as a win because it absolutely is.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, I look at, I became a single mother while I was in the Coast Guard.
Okay.
And it was, I could say it wasn't a choice, but it was a choice because I didn't do what I needed to do to prevent it from happening, right? So it was a choice.
I really feel like two people made that decision. It wasn't just...
Well, I had more control of the situation than, but I wouldn't change anything. I would not change anything. Nope.
Right on.
But yeah, So, I became a single mother in the Coast Guard. And that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do by myself. My goal was always to make sure my son was straight.
That's what's up.
Always.
That's what's
and
up.
that he saw a strong woman. Because, my mother was strong.
Mm-hmm.
She had 3 of us. So I always want him to see a strong mom.
That's what's up.
Whenever I had to stay on duty or something, I got or stationed in a new unit and I had to stay on duty.
Yeah.
I wasn't a whiner, and I've never been a whiner. I've never been a whiner. I always tell the command, look, I will happily stay on duty. I will happily do whatever I need to do if it's my job.
Mm-hmm.
And even sometimes if it's not my job, if it makes sure the mission gets done.
Right on.
But I will not leave my child with just anybody.
Right on. Come on.
I will not.
Right.
So either y'all got to wait until I find somebody that I can trust.
Mm-hmm.
To keep my kid, or you do what you have to do. So I was willing to, if you gotta give me a page 7, you gotta do whatever, then do that. But I'm not gonna leave my kid with just anybody.
Right on.
And so, that was a non-negotiable for me.
Love it.
Non-negotiable. Because my commands, and I was really blessed in this respect, because my commands, they knew my work ethic. I'm not bragging on myself, but,
do it, brag.
I gotta if it has to get done, it's gotta get done. Let's get it done. I ain't gotta like you to get it done.
Right on.
We can beef later, but we gotta get it done. But because they knew that's how I was and that, I was dependable, they worked with me and I appreciated that.
That's what's up.
I think for me, that's my war story. That's my ultimate war story because my son is, he's 25 now, about to be 25, so he's not a baby, but, he was a big motivating piece of my life in the Coast Guard to make sure he was straight.
Love
I
it.
don't care what they done. They could have done anything to me. Don't mess with my kid.
I love it. I love it.
If I had to go work at Wendy's because y'all kicked me out because I wouldn't, okay, fine, whatever. He was going to be straight.
And now this is a grown man who knows his mama's got his back.
That's right.
That's what's up.
He knows it. He knows his mama will put her foot in his behind. No, bro, you picked the Army. Is that do what you supposed to do? I don't play with that. No.
Love it.
No.
Love it.
Yeah, I pass my strength on. Gotta pass it on to him.
Look, I'll probably never meet him, but I know for a fact you his favorite person.
I better be.
Yes, you his favorite person.
She got gray hair all the time, more gray hair. I better be his favorite person. Now, he's married now, but I think she probably his favorite person.
All right, you top 2, and sometimes you not number 2.
No, she's supposed to be number 1.
What rank did you retire as?
I retired as Chief Corpsman.
Come on. Big Chief. Come on, anchors.
Yep.
I'm with it. Do you feel that the way you were treated improved with rank? And do you feel that that improvement would have happened sooner had you been a different race and gender?
Of course. What world are we living in? Yes, absolutely.
I love the immediacy. I love the no duh, girl.
Yeah, of course. Okay, as a seaman, I had respect. I don't know if it was because of just who I was and what, because I didn't accept anything else.
You're one of 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're one of 3 choices. Yeah.
Yeah. I had respect. And as I went up in the ranks, I still require respect because I'm going to treat you the way you treat me.
Right on.
Or I'm going to treat you the way I want you to treat me. And if you can't treat me that way, then I'm done with you.
Right on.
But we still gonna get the job done.
Right on.
Period.
Work ethic.
And that's just how I'm still that way now. I don't care. I'm like, hey, we gotta get something done. We gotta get it done. But I think that because, when my captain called me by my first name,
yeah,
I feel like that's respect. Honestly, I do. He will call me HS2, HS3, whatever it was, in front of everybody. But he will call me LaTonya. Hey, what about this, and that? When my admiral, and I say my admiral because I consider him as my admiral. He was at the academy, great person. But we're friends on LinkedIn now. When he calls me by my first name, to me I feel like, okay, you see me as a person, not as just a rank.
Okay.
I feel like in coming up, I got respect from the people that, in my opinion, that mattered.
Right on.
Because they were the ones that made the decisions.
Like, if you're not doing my marks, I don't really care.
Yeah, they were the one. I mean, they were the ones who made the decision. If there was an issue with my marks, I could say, Captain, do you agree with this? You know what I'm saying? I know.
Did you ever have to argue your marks?
I did.
You did? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh wow.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Oh, they got changed.
Now that's a war story, LaTonya. Come on.
You know, look, I done told you. 20 years. 20 years. I can't remember everything. I might until I start talking about it, you know.
I'm mad I had to pry that one out of you. You got your marks changed.
Well,
that is a win, yo.
They got bumped up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's like, no, how can you know?
No, you stood up for yourself. Good.
Absolutely. that's just how it had to be.
I love
just how it had to be.
I love it.
So yeah. So I feel like, you know, it changed for me, but not everybody has that experience. I think when we look at how people treat us, we have to take part ownership in how people treat us. Because if you let people treat you a certain way, they're going to continue to do it. But if you know, I don't know who says, but you got to show people how to treat you. You do. No, you're not going to talk to me like this.
Amen.
No, you're not going to do this. You're not going to say that. You can't do this. Policy says da-da-da-da-da-da. And I taught my son the same thing. You need to know policy. My husband and I both. You need to make sure you know policy. You better know what they can and cannot do to you.
Right on.
And that's how I went through my career, making sure I read like, nope, you can't do that.
I love it.
Oh, this says this. You're supposed to write this, that, and the other. No, you're not gonna give me a 4 here, or you're not gonna give me because this. You got me sit down and write out my bullets. Like you don't know what I did. So, and I gave you all this stuff, and now you're going to give me this? I don't think so. No.
In writing.
In writing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to get very technical with people.
Absolutely. Don't ask me to give you something and you're not going to use it. Act like I didn't give it to you. I don't think so. No.
Let me spell this all the way out
Waste
for you.
my time. Waste my time. Shoot, forget that.
I heard that. Has there ever been a tough situation that you were in where another sister helped you out, or a situation where you helped another sister out? And I know you didn't encounter a lot of black ladies.
I didn't. And so that's what makes it so hard to say yes to that question. But what I can say is that during a really low point in my life in the Coast Guard, where my son's biological father, he left me with $3 and some change in my bank account.
Trash.
And no lights on in October.
I don't like this dude.
Yeah. And my
I'm sorry, he's probably a better person now. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt.
No.
Oh, he's not?
He's
all
not.
Right.
He's
all right.
not.
Hey, dude, you garbage, man.
He's not. No. And my 2-year-old son and I are heating the house by the fireplace, the apartment by the fireplace. Mm-hmm. I wasn't expecting this, but somebody, it was my chief. No, wasn't my chief. It was somebody in the clinic. It was either the chief or it was somebody. I don't remember who it was. They gave me an envelope, and in that envelope there's $350.
Come on.
And that came from the Officers' Wives Club. That was like, that just, I was like, wow. I mean, I cried. I mean, I was a big weeping baby. Because, yeah, it was something else. So it was like, whether it came from a sister or it came from, a white lady, it doesn't matter.
Look, it came when you needed it.
It came when I needed it. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
what a lovely story, though.
Yeah, that was a very humbling moment.
And you were like, how did they know? Because once again, you're not a whiner. You probably weren't telling anybody. They just knew.
The only thing I did put in for a mutual assistance loan to try to get some money to get my lights turned back on.
Dear God.
My mom didn't even know.
Girl.
My dad did not know. Nobody in my family knew. I was so ashamed. But whoever told whomever, and they did that for me. So I was like, okay. I was very grateful. I'm very grateful.
Glad that somebody was looking out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
yeah,
single motherhood is not easy.
No. But so when I saw that question,
and shitty baby daddies make it even worse.
Oh, girl. Ooh. Yeah. when I saw that question, I was like, I just put parent community, on, I thought about it, I said my parent community, the people who looked out for me, whether they were black, white, otherwise. I had people in my life, no matter where I went, in the Coast Guard, somebody became part of my community.
Good. Tell me something you wish you had known before joining the service.
That my body would be so racked after leaving the service. I'd have stayed in the gym. Look.
I only had to swim once, and that was in boot camp.
I know, but that right there, if I had known, I'd have kept I was athletic most of my career in the Coast Guard. I just go to the gym because,
yeah.
But still, it's like, really? And if I had known them doggone boots were going to kill my knees, and come on.
I hope you are getting benefits for that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you are HS. Of course. Yes.
Well, HS is not. I was going to find, no, yeah, I do. I get my benefits. I get my 2 checks.
That's what I'm talking about. I love it. I love it. If you can you tell me about a time you learned a lesson that you weren't ready to learn? You may not have been ready to learn this lesson.
So this is the one I had mentioned earlier. That's what I would tell you about.
Oh, okay.
And I had to learn this early on. Being in the Coast Guard when I was on the ship. I think it was about maybe four black women, including myself. That's about 4 of us.
I'm gonna say that's a lot for one. Yeah.
Yeah, and we shared same berthing area on the ship. So there was no black women officers on the ship. So we were all y'all
were all enlisted?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All enlisted, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, so I thought because we had that in common, and that we were together, I thought we were together.
Yeah.
And I thought we could trust each other. I thought I could trust. And here I am. Gotcha. I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
18 going on 19. I became legal in the Coast Guard, So I'm looking to them because they were in before me and everything.
Were they also like young in rank?
The highest rank was E6.
Okay.
She was E6. Yeah.
So this is, that's still pretty young in rank, depending on how fast you make it.
Yeah. So and the rest of them, they were kind of in the same. They were seamen or third class, that kind of thing. So
right on.
Yeah. But when they stole from me.
Oh man.
Yeah. Stole right out my locker. My bad for not locking my locker.
I hate it.
That really had me think. I was like, you know what? Okay.
That is an
eye-opener. Just because you share the same race, just because you're a woman, I'm a woman. Yeah. It don't mean I can trust you. It doesn't mean that, I'm going,
all skin folk and kinfolk.
Hey,
dang.
Say it again.
I hate it. I
Say
hate it. Oh.
That was a lesson I had to learn early, and I'm glad I did because it didn't mean I looked at all black women that way in the Coast Guard because I didn't.
You can't.
I had to take people as they were, as they got. When I see you, this is what you're showing me. Okay, that's okay.
Right on.
So I had to learn that early on, and I wasn't ready for that because I came from Asheville, North Carolina. Okay, all right. It just it's small community.
Yeah. Did you ever figure out which one it was?
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Oh man. Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's the one you went to the command about, and they didn't listen. Oh
no. That was a whole different. That was on shore. That was an on shore thing.
Okay.
I was a corpsman at that time the one I went to the command about.
Okay.
But yeah. So no, I did not. I didn't go to anybody about it.
Okay.
I didn't go there because nothing would have happened. Nothing would have happened. I know nothing would have happened. Because number one, I couldn't prove that she did it.
Okay.
But I know she did it. Yeah, I knew she did it. Mm-hmm.
Dang.
And short of getting in trouble because I'm fighting, because she done stole from me. I can't stand a thief. I'm telling you, I can't stand it.
Same.
Yeah. I knew. I was like, okay, I see who you are.
Did y'all ever run into each other again later on in the Coast Guard? Okay.
Never. She probably, I ain't gonna say that.
Probably did her foreign done?
No, she probably, something. I don't know where she went. She was actually an engineer.
Okay.
From the engineer family, so I don't know what happened to her.
I really hate that for you, especially so young in your career.
Hey, it was a lesson that I had to learn.
Right.
I had to learn it. I had to see it.
Man, since you made it all the way to Chief Petty Officer, do you feel that you were a better leader than the ones you had the opportunity to grow under?
No.
No? What?
Not better. I won't say better.
Okay.
Because the people that, when you say grow up under, are you talking about my direct supervisors and stuff? Okay.
Like the leaders you grew under as a military person.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I kid you not, I said, even as an E5, you know, because E5 is when you really start getting a lot of responsibility. Yes. But I had it as an E3. I actually had it as a seaman. What is seaman? Do you know who's in charge of the WQSB board in her unit?
You just said a lot of letters that I don't know because I was never on a boat. But
you assign people their general quarters billets.
Oh, wow.
I did that as a seaman on my ship.
Okay.
I was the one signing people their spots and making sure they knew what they were supposed to do.
Okay.
So what seaman do you know?
That is a leadership role.
Exactly. So, you know, and everywhere I went, every rank that I had a responsibility that was above my rank. I did. I had a responsibility that was above my rank. And so, in being able to do that, it's like, okay, I looked at the people who did stuff that I thought sucked, was crappy, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
So when I became a first class,
yes,
my seconds and my thirds, I was like, yeah, don't come asking me a question if you haven't tried to look it up. You know, no.
I feel you.
You know, so, I mean, I feel like I gained so much of what to do and what not to do. So, from some. And then there are others that just knocked it out of the park for me. Other senior leadership that knocked it out of the park for me. It was like, okay, I want to be like you when I grow up. So I don't think I'm better, but I do believe I'm very close to where they were when they retired or they got out of Coast Guard.
But you might be being humble right now. You might not be bragging enough.
Look, I don't brag.
I can see that.
It's hard for me to do that. It's hard for me to do that. Look, I'm going to tell you who I am and who I am and how I am to people. And that is one of the things I am is humble because I know I learn something from everything I go through. And that's how I try to look at it because, you know, it's like I can't dwell in the crappiness of life.
Yeah. Because
then that takes my joy. I ain't trying to get on people my joy.
I feel it.
Forget that.
Come on. That's yours.
Exactly. Even my children. It's like, shoot, no, go away. You can't have it. I'm protecting my peace at all costs.
I'm protecting my peace from my children.
Yes, from my kids. Yes. Shoot. Just because they're yours don't mean, that don't mean nothing. But yeah, I mean, that's just who I am. I mean, I've never been a bragger. I've never been a boaster. I do what I do.
You get the job done.
Yeah. And I love to help people, so.
That's what's up. Let me backtrack just a little bit now. You did say that for each rank that you had more responsibility than what the rank called for. So when you were seaman, you were doing things that were probably like E4, E5-ish or better. When you were E4, you were probably doing E5, E6-ish stuff. All right. Did you get stationed with people that were also your rank, that only worked jobs that the rank called for? So if it was you and another E3, you were doing stuff that higher ranking personnel normally do. Were you stationed with another E3 that only did the job of an E3?
Yeah.
Why aren't you bragging more, LaTonya? I had to pry this out of you.
Come on. Look, I can only tell you, look, because I don't. I mean, like I said, a lot of stuff I don't remember until I start talking about it and just going through the motions, the memories, how it was, I love teaching people. And so if I had an opportunity to teach somebody else to how to do it or how to bring themselves up, that's what I was going to do.
So when you were maybe an E4, you were probably doing more than what an E4 is called for. Were you stationed with other E4s that did just their job while you were doing more?
Some, yeah.
Okay.
Some.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to have to tell you, you actually are a better leader than the ones you came up under.
Oh, that's what you were trying to get to.
I hate to be the one to break it to you, LaTonya, but you were wrong earlier. You are a better leader than the ones you came up under.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Girl, come on. You're better because you had more experience in leadership. You're better because you were, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, not putting other people that were lower ranking than you in situations that you were in. And that is more responsibility than what their rank called for.
Right, yeah. I definitely
correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right. I didn't do that. I did not do that. But, yeah. Okay. You're right.
Look, let me...
I didn't look at it that way.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm putting my foot down. I'm right.
You're right. Go ahead. You're right. I give you that one.
Now.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, are there any sisters in service that inspire you or have inspired you? And I do mean people, sisters that you may have worked with, may not have worked with, veterans, active duty, it doesn't matter. Are there any sisters in service that inspire you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are. There are a few that I grew up with when I was when I was stationed here in Portsmouth, like I said, that some of our firsts in the Coast Guard.
Right on.
I'm just going to say her name, Lisa Spotwood.
Yo, shouts out to Master Chief Spotwood.
Yeah, Lisa Spotwood.
No, you can say her name loud and proud. She gave me an interview.
Yeah, good. Yes.
She's good people. I love her.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. She is definitely good people. So she is definitely an inspiration.
Yo, you got to talk to her more often. Like, she is hilarious.
I know she is. As I say, that's the one I told you. I said, all right, we go to a function. It's like, hey, Lisa, yeah, we having this. Oh, I see you there. So
she is a hoot.
I know she is. She's something else.
She's funny. She's smart. She's like, I love talking to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lisa Spotwood, Barbara Burke.
Come on.
She was awesome. She was that person. She would pull me to the side, Tanya, and when I was E4, E4 here, and I don't know where she is right now to this day, but she was good people. She is good people.
She was a Coastie.
Mm-hmm.
Was she chief?
She
was a yeoman.
Yeah, she was a chief. I think she went up to chief. I want to say she may have gotten to senior chief last time.
Chief Burke, shouts out to you, lady.
Yeah,
like we are over here saluting you, not literally, but salutes to you.
Yeah,
Chief Burke.
Yep.
All right.
Gosh, let me see. Tony, I can't remember Tony's last name. What's Tony's last name? Oh Lord, Tony was a DC.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Damage controlman?
Yeah.
Sister?
Yeah. So she was in the world of men.
Lord, she was by herself. Mm-hmm. She was on an island. But she was just her.
She wasn't the one. I love these strong people, boy. I tell you, these folks. I think Tony and I, we kind of came up like this, but DCs, they moved a little bit faster. But still, Tony, good people.
Yo, it sounds like you've met some badasses.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. I mean, I can't think of any other names right now. Oh, my sister from another mister, people used to get us Pam. What is Pam's last name? Good grief. I can't remember what it is. But we both from North Carolina. We both wear glasses. We both same complexion. We used to wear our hair the same way. We're both corpsmen. People used to get us mixed up all the time.
Obviously, yes.
And we're both lab techs at the time. So people used to get us mixed up all the time.
Lord have mercy.
We actually would have come in the same time as Buddy when they were doing the Buddy thing. But for some reason, I think she came in ahead of me. But yeah, so
look, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. She could have been my complexion. Y'all still would have got your names mixed up with everybody.
Look, I've been called that color girl with the glasses. My retirees, that does not narrow it down, sir.
This lady could have looked exactly like me, and y'all's names would have been mixed up for each other because y'all are both black ladies.
In the corpsman world, though, not necessarily so, because it was.
Correct me. Come on.
Very, very tight. Very tight. So if you were talking about a sister and a corpsman, you can't mix them up. And the only people that will mix us up are white people.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because the black people, we know who we are.
Right.
There's no mixing it up.
Right.
Yeah.
We can tell black people from each other.
Yeah. It was like that color girl with the glasses,
Look, I had the opportunity at my last unit to work with another, we were both E5s at the same time. We were both African-American ladies. Mm-hmm. It only happened one time, and I corrected that girl so quick. She tried to call me by this other girl's name. I started filtering through the white ladies in the office. I was like, I fucked her name up like 4 or 5 times on purpose. Like, because here's the thing, you worked with that woman before you even knew me. So you knew her name a whole year before you even met me. You have no excuse to be mixing us up like this.
Yeah.
So since you want to mix us up, I'm going to filter through all the white lady names in this office before I get to yours.
Right.
And we'll see if you call me by that woman's name again.
Right.
It didn't happen again.
I know that's right. Let me school you right now.
Look, it's only 2 of us. It's like 7 of y'all. It's going to take me a while to list all. So if we mixing up names, we go mix them all up.
Yep. Hey, tell you gotta teach people how to treat you.
Look,
it
didn't happen no more.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
All right, Tanya.
All right.
Let's say you were just starting your life on your own, and you were presented with the chance to join the service for the first time. Knowing what you know now, would you still join?
Absolutely.
Oh, get it. Okay.
Absolutely. I have learned so much from being in the Coast Guard, just being in the military, period. Number one, I love the regiment, to be a regimented, situation. I love to know what am I going to be doing today, how it needs to be done, what is the goal, and I put that uniform on. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna brag on me right now.
Do it.
Just recording.
Because you haven't done it enough yet.
I look good in my uniform.
Goddamn right.
I look great in my uniform.
Come on.
I look so good. I was actually in a poster, for a recruiting poster.
Come on.
They bumped me up to an instant. I had the little shoulder boards on, standing on the bridge wing of the Bear with the binoculars. Yeah, weighing a whole $119. Yeah.
Wearing somebody else's rank.
Somebody else's rank. Hey, it was just foretelling the future.
Yeah.
However, I didn't get there. But
come on.
I almost got there.
Look.
I went to PA school.
Right on.
Yeah, so I almost got there.
Right on.
But still, so I wouldn't change it. I mean, I learned so much. I got to see so many places that I never would have been able to see. I don't think I would have been able to see if I had stayed at home.
Right on.
I mean, by the time I was 19, 20 years old, I've been to another country. I experienced Haitians, the beauty of the Haitian people.
Right on. Yeah.
I experienced other cultures. So I would do it again. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right
I traveled.
Right
I
on.
cannot say it enough. Yes, I would do it again.
Would you still join the Coast Guard?
Yes. Because honestly, well, I don't want this to seem like it's a bad thing. I just think it's a lesser of...
If it's a true thing, it's just a true thing.
A bunch of, I'm not saying evil, but I think it's the better of the services for Black women. I think that if, you can stand out, but you just have to remember to stand up.
Right on. Come on.
I mean, and that's the thing. You can stand out. You're going to stand out because you're a very small group of people in such a service where there's not very many Black people to begin with. And that's okay. But you got to remember to stand up.
Come on.
So if you have the tools, you have the knowledge to stand up, you stand up.
Come on.
So, yeah, I do it.
All
Coast
right.
Guard would be it for me.
Sorry, Space Force. Y'all don't get Tanya this time.
Don't none of y'all get Tanya anymore. Ever again. So, I might send y'all somebody, but it ain't going to be me.
If you had a daughter or any young impressionable Black girl in your life that you cared about and she was considering a life in the military, would you try to talk her out of joining?
No.
Okay.
I've had it happen. Yeah, some of my son's classmates.
Okay.
One young lady, she wanted to go into the Coast Guard. She was thinking about it and she wanted to talk to me about it. I talked to her about it. She did apply. For some reason, she didn't get in. I don't remember what it was, but
wow,
yeah,
this must have been a long time
it
ago.
It was like
we are down bad, and we take everybody.
It was years ago. It was like in around 2017, 18.
Okay.
Yes, I think it was a medical thing why she didn't get in, but absolutely. And I actually still say Coast Guard. If I see young ladies in ROTC or whatever, I still say, look, that ain't the only uniform you can wear. I still say Coast Guard. I would love to mentor any young lady that's even thinking about it.
Come on, I love it.
I would love to because I want them to, if they're going to go in, they need to go in equipped, not wait until they get there and try to get equipped. They need to go in with some knowledge.
I love it.
Because there's no guarantee once you get in there that you're going to get what you need. the knowledge of how to navigate that whole organization.
I love it.
So if you're going to do it, okay, you make the decision, you're going to do it. Okay, so now you need some knowledge about when you do go in there, and you need somebody who you can talk to while you're in there, whether it's somebody in there or somebody, a veteran out. So,
I love it.
Knowledge is not for me to hold on to. It's for me to
Amen.
pass on.
You better say that.
It's for me to pass on. If I know something that I
love it.
know you don't know, I want you to know it. What good is it going to do me holding on to it?
Thank you.
Especially when it comes down to our young black women.
Thank you.
Period.
Thank
you.
you.
Need to know.
Thank you.
They need to know. Period. I mean,
LaTonya does not hoard information.
I don't hoard information. As a matter of fact, I try to get as much out of my brain as possible. Okay, I'm still a paper and pencil calendar kind of person.
Love it.
Look, it don't stay there.
Love it.
Pass it on.
Recruitment and retention is down across all the branches and with all demographics. Black women are not excluded from that. This was true even before the pandemic. Why do you think black women are so disinterested in joining the military?
I honestly think it's a generational thing.
Okay.
And no disrespect to millennials, Gen Z, and all that other stuff, but I honestly, this is based on what I've seen from those generations. Because of, I think, a lot of things like technology and all that, I think that our kids, our young adults, have lost grit. Grind for jobs, or the technology part of it, or that piece, okay, great. I'm talking about when you got to be in the trenches and you got to work hard. You got to break a sweat. You got to make it happen. You can't sit and wait for somebody to come and tell you what to do. You got to go find out what you need to do to get where you want to be. Don't expect this person or that person to tell you how to get there, because guess what? They may not be team who you are. I think a lot that I got to have it right now, but it's not a priority. I got to have it right now. I got to have, it's just so much stuff in the generation. So I think that when we talk about, why, I don't want to join this organization or whatever, because I might face, you will face racism, sexism, labels, all that's going to come. But do you have the grit, the grind, the dedication, the perseverance to do what you need to do to get through it? And to say no, you know what? Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I see what you're doing, and you're not going to succeed, because you're not going to stop me from getting from point A to point B, because I want to be in point B. Right. That's where I'm going. Right. You're not going to stop me from that. I think these later generations are lacking in the grind. They're lacking in the grit. I mean, look, let me tell you, I grew up, I was working at 14. I worked a summer job.
Was that legal? Don't brag about that.
I had a work permit, so yes. I got called a nigga the first time in my life when I was 15 years old, working in a store where I went working from on the floor, stocking shelves, to working in customer service.
Wow.
As a 15-year-old during Christmas.
Wow.
Okay? Again,
what a time.
More responsibility than a 15-year-old should have, but I had it.
Right.
Then I got fired.
Wow.
Because they said I stole bacon.
What the fuck?
Okay.
I'm mad.
So,
of all the things that you could have been accused.
Thank you.
Fucking bacon.
Bacon that was given to me.
Wow.
By the cook after hours.
Wow.
Because it was left over.
Wow.
Come on, But what did I do? Did I sit and I say, well, I ain't never done it? No. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you gotta, the generations, it drives me crazy. You gotta get out there and grind for what you want. It's okay. Well, I ain't working a job if I can't have a full-time job and make $20 an hour. Oh, so you'd rather have nothing and sit there on the computer or on Instagram and do a TikTok video than to go work at McDonald's and make $12 an hour just to have some in your pocket. That's crazy to me. Crazy. No, my mom and daddy gonna pay for my phone bill, or it's like, really? That's what I think. That all of that affects I believe, this is my opinion, I think all of that affects a person's ability to persevere when they're faced with challenges. If you cannot persevere when you face with challenges, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time in the military. 100%.
Because it's all a challenge once you get in the military.
All challenge. They're going to push you to do more. And whether it's pushing you to be your best or be your worst, you're going to get pushed. You decide if you're going to be your best or be your worst. So, I mean, that's why I think retention is low. I think that's why when Black women, especially women of color, are disinterested in the military because they're afraid. They're afraid of what they're going to face. I think there's a lack of being sure of themselves, being able to handle it, you know. And I'm not saying people should just do it because they should go in and endure it. No, not at all. Don't let that stop you from, you know, doing what it is that you want to do. If you see yourself as the first admiral, go get that. Go get it. Go get it. Look, by the time I got ready to retire, my attitude was, with God being for me, what can man do to me? So, I mean, I cared, but it's like, okay, and what you gonna do? You gonna kick me out? I'm a chief. I have 19, 20, 18, 17 years in. What? Okay. If that's what you gotta do, then do that. But if this is where I'm supposed to be, this is where I'm gonna be. You better come with it, and you better
knew
come
nobody's
correct.
gonna kick you out, please.
No, I didn't. But you know, there are people that were, you know, that
there
were
may have been some people that didn't
jerks.
like you.
Of course, there are people who didn't like me. There are people being jerks, you know. But you know, it's like, so I think that's why there are a lot of women, especially women of color, who don't come in. Younger women, the opportunity is there. You know, I think there's fear that keeps them from coming in.
Okay.
Fear.
Fear of what?
Like I said, racism, sexism.
Those are legitimate fears, LaTonya.
They are legitimate fears. They are fears.
Yeah. And
also the fear of not having someone there that's going to guide them.
That's also a legitimate fear.
It is absolutely a legitimate fear. And I think that's where we, you know, the veteran community, especially Black women, we failed them. We have failed them.
Come on.
We have failed them. And, you know, and it's not saying that we didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
But I believe we have failed our young women because we had the opportunity. We had the advantage. We took advantage of the opportunity in one way or another. Whether we finished our 20 or more, or whether we got out, you know, within 5 years, there was still opportunity there. But the opportunity to help mold and shape, and you know, help get them through those tough times, because racism freaking is not dead.
Right. It's not going anywhere.
Sexism is not dead.
It's got a very strong hold on everybody.
Exactly.
It's not going nowhere.
The battle for our hair is not dead. You know, the battle for, you know, a lot of battles are not done.
You are correct.
But, you know, those of us who have battle scars, we should be mentoring them. We should there should be a collective of Black women veterans that are out there helping other Black women. They say, well, okay, let me call so-and-so. Look, this is the problem I'm having. This is where I am. But at the same time, accountability on the other side of the fence. Take responsibility for your crap.
Let me comment on this. You're right. There should be a better community of veteran Black women. We deserve better for ourselves and for our future. But also, we cannot beat each other. We can't beat ourselves up over that. You can't beat yourself up. I can't beat us up. Because by the time you leave the military, and you know this from experience, you're so fucking exhausted. You don't want shit else to do with any of that. And sometimes that takes a toll. That comes in the form of not helping those coming up. And that's sad. It's sad that you're so beaten up, you're so worn out, you're so exhausted with time and experience that you can't help those coming up behind you. So yes, we should have a bigger and stronger community, but also I see why we don't.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I mean, and that's why I say it's not like we failed our young Black women on purpose.
Right. You didn't try to.
Look,
you trying
we
to fail.
probably didn't even know how, you know, like we didn't know each other when we were active duty.
There you go.
We don't know who our young Black women are.
Right.
Because they're so spread out. We don't know who they are.
Right.
Unless we know somebody who's still active.
Right.
That knows somebody that, you know, knows somebody.
You got to be put in contact with people.
Exactly.
It's almost a secret
Exactly.
society.
Yes, it really is. It really is. So you're right. We shouldn't beat each other up, and we definitely can't beat each other. We can't beat ourselves up. I totally agree with that. And I would not, this is not me pointing fingers at veterans because I would have to point the finger back at myself too.
Yeah.
This is just saying that, maybe that's something we all need to think about.
Yeah.
How can we do this? How can we be a support to our sisters in arms?
Right on. We working on it for real.
That's right, and this is one step. I appreciate you doing this podcast. So
for sure.
This is one step, one step out of many steps. But hey, it's a step. It's a step. It ain't a standstill. It's a step.
Many steps lead to a journey, or whatever that saying is.
I ain't never heard that saying, but okay.
No, every journey begins with one step, or something like that. I'm gonna mess it up. Let me stop.
Y'all
now.
get it. You know what she's saying.
Y'all know what I'm saying.
That's right. You know what she's saying.
If you were conducting this interview from where I am sitting, what question would you have asked you that I did not ask you?
I got this.
Come on.
Is there anything that you wish you had done that you did not do while you were in the Coast Guard?
Tanya, is there anything that you did not do that you wish you had done while in the Coast Guard?
Well, absolutely. Thank you for asking.
Hey, y'all remember that different. Like, that was my own original idea. I asked that. I put that question out there first. It wasn't her. It was
me. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. 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 This is crazy, but when I graduated high school, I graduated in 1990.
Okay.
We had this book, it's our kind of like a scrapbook.
Okay, yeah.
So at the very end, it says, "Where do you see yourself in 20 years?" So I'd already know I was going to the Coast Guard because it was delayed entry.
Yeah.
And I was coming to the Coast Guard. And I put I will be a chief corpsman on a ship in Hawaii. Let me tell you how creepy this is. The unit I was at before I came here, I was at the Coast Guard Academy. That's where I made chief. I called a detailer. He called me. He said, he said, "You haven't been on the ship." He said, "So you're up." And I said, "Okay, I got it." I said, "All right." I said, I had known him. We knew each other for a long time, I was like, "All right, so what's available?" And he gave me the rundowns. I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll take the rush out of Hawaii." Now, mind you, my son's biological father had come back into his life, and so I thought, okay, maybe I could do this. He could watch my son. Then he started being a jerk, and I was like, I will not leave my son with this man. So I had to call the detailer back and say, "Look, you know my situation. I want to do my ship because this is the final for me. This is my last unit. It would have been my last unit in the Coast Guard.
Right on.
My very last unit." And I say, as a chief corpsman, to me, that's the ultimate, to be able to run my own, I'm Doc, that was like the icing on the cake for my Coast Guard career as a corpsman, so I was looking forward to it.
And it's Hawaii.
Come right?
On. Yes.
So I had to call and say, "Look, I can't. I cannot leave him, my son, with his BF. That's what I call him, BF.
Not best friend?
Yeah. BF can stand for a lot of things.
In this case, biological father.
Yes,
not
that's
best
what
friend.
Biological father. I can't leave him with him, And I said, "So what do I have any other choices?" And so he's Norfolk and a few other places. I was like, "I'll take Norfolk." And so I came down here to Norfolk. So, but that would have been my, my final.
That was
tour.
almost a perfect prediction, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it would have been my final tour. So that, and or becoming a PA, because I went to PA school, and I worked super hard to get there. I mean, I took classes in the middle of the day, and then I would stand when I was stationed in Yorktown. They allowed me to I took leave every Thursday so I could do my lab, my class, and my lab.
Nice.
Every Thursday. So I took leave every Thursday for 2 semesters straight so I can get my requirements.
They knew it was for school?
Mm-hmm.
And they made you use leave?
I offered it because I wanted to do it. I needed to do it. I didn't want them to say no. So I was like, "Here's what I'm going to give you if you'll let me do this." And so I would work through my lunch.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So I got into PA school, and I was able to go to PA school for, I was there for a year. I had some medical issues. My son started having medical issues because he was with my mother for a year. So we were apart. And so I had to resign.
Wow.
That was like one of the hardest things too that I ever had to do in the Coast Guard. Resign from PA school because I wanted to be a PA. Yeah. But yeah, so those are the things. I'd have gone back to PA school. I'd applied, but being a chief and being able to go on that ship and just be Doc. I started on a ship. I would have ended on a ship.
You really
I started as an SA. I would have ended as a chief corpsman on a ship, and I would have had the opportunity to teach somebody who wanted to be a corpsman just like I was taught when I was an SA on the ship by the chief corpsman. So that would have been the ultimate for me. Yeah. So, yep, I did. I wanted to go back to a ship.
Right.
Well, it was my time, and I accepted that because I hadn't been on.
Look, I don't meet a lot of people, women, even coasties that just want to be on a ship. So this is new.
I wouldn't have asked for it, but he came to me. He said it was my time. I was up for selection to go. Gotcha. So I was like, okay, I accepted that because, like, again, I was not a whiner. I was not going to say, oh, well, I'm a single mom. I don't want to go. No, I'm a single mom. I got, da-da-da-da. So it was my time. Somebody had to go. So.
Yes, but in this case, it wasn't you.
It was not me. It was for a reason. I got here. I met my husband. We got married here.
Right on. So look, good things happened.
Absolutely. Hey.
Is there anything you would like to leave our audience with?
I think I've given y'all a whole bunch of nuggets.
You dropped some gems. You did.
I've dropped a few gems, so y'all just take all that. No,
I would like to reiterate that she didn't brag nearly enough. She actually has a Superwoman cape hanging up in here. She didn't even acknowledge that. All right.
What are you talking about?
She's a whole superhero.
No.
I'm looking at a poster right now that says "Advocate, Educate, and Empower." You are something special to a couple of people. It looks like. And that's why I said, yeah, you got a Superwoman cape in here, and you acting like you're not a hero. All right, LaTonya, if you don't want to brag, I can't force you.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I've always been a helper. I've always been one to want to help people and serve people, and I believe that's why the Coast Guard was the best choice for me. I wanted to be a doctor. That's me serving people. I wanted to be, it gave me the opportunity to do that. I do it now. I do it now in my life because I want to. One thing I want to tell people is, look, it's your character that matters because, look.
It just started raining, y'all. If you hear any water in the background, I think it just started raining.
It did. It's pouring out there.
Right on. Because it was so hot.
Yes. And it's going to be even hotter when it's done.
Oh, yeah, because it's just going to be steam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Tanya. I did cut you off. My bad.
It's all right. It's all right. I know. Look, you saw my face when I looked. It's like, okay. Wait,
yeah. We were both surprised.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 80 degrees when I walked in here. And it's going to be 92 with all that steam.
Exactly. Good for your skin, right?
Sure. A nice dewy glow.
Well, I was saying, it's your character that matters because it's the only one that you can control. You decide who you want to be. Don't let people decide for you. Just don't. No matter what you're doing. I don't care if you work at McDonald's. Don't let people decide who you're going to be based on their actions, their words. Be true to yourself. Go for what you want. Parvik Nugan, all that other stuff. Have it your way, like Burger King said. No. But seriously, just be you. Do you. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't have a choice because you always have a choice.
Right on.
You always have a choice.
I love it.
The consequences of your choice should be what guides you and what you decide to do. Okay? So if you wanted to be a good, sometimes you really don't have control of that either. You can make the right choice and still get a negative consequence. And unfortunately, that happens in the military more often than not. Yeah. They will promote the dirt bags and keep the good people on, and dog the good people out.
Who you telling?
Yeah, I've seen it. It happens.
Yeah.
But don't let that deter you from doing what you need to do for you. You can't. Because you'll be sitting there on the sidelines watching life go by. If you let what other people do and don't do decide your moves. If my mother had given up with raising three of us, where would I be? I get my strength from her.
I love it.
Single mom raising 3 kids. 2 boys. I'm the middle girl, and I got the most responsibility out of everybody.
You the only girl. Yeah. It all fell on you.
Yeah. Hey, so, as a guy knew what he was doing when he gave her to me. Live your life. Live your truth. Don't let people tell you what to do. I mean, you don't let people tell you which way to go.
Right on. I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
It's not where you want to go. Pray about that thing. Look, me and Jesus, we got a direct line of communication. Okay.
Is he on the main line?
He is on the main line.
Tell him what you want.
Tell him what you want. That's right. That's how I got through the military. Honestly, my aunt, my mama, all of them. But yeah. But that's about it. I could talk all day, girl.
That's what's up.
No, I can't because I'm tired and I'm hungry.
Chief told me she got some Caribbean food at the home.
I sure do.
So I'm going to go ahead and let her get to that. Chief, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for taking the time out. Look, we are complete strangers before this, but we are friends now.
Absolutely.
So look, thank you, Chief. You got a friend. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for making space available. Thank you for bringing your war stories and your other stories. Look, you just hooked up this. This was a great conversation. I'm glad I was able to have it with you. So thank you for this.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you doing this. You keep doing it. And you come across some sisters in the military that need some connections.
I'm gonna point them in your direction.
For real, I am so serious. Just let me know when they're coming because I don't answer calls. I don't know the number, so they might get my voicemail. So just say, hey, LaTonya, I got so and so here. I call you. You want to talk about? Okay, that's fine. I am so serious about that thing.
I'm gonna do it.
I am so serious.
I'm calling you bluff, LaTonya.
Do it.
I'm sending you somebody.
Do it.
Hey,
yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Village.
Put well, there ain't no money involved here, but
I got you.
But still, yeah, definitely do it. Because that's who I am. I love to serve. I love to help. I want to, like my son, advocate, educate, empower.
We in her office. She is a whole helper, like for real in real life. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day, call it an interview, call it a conversation. Thank you. And thank you, audience, for joining us today. And I'm going to let y'all go. Bye.
Peace.
And that concludes this episode of the Seasoned Vet Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. And a special thank you to retired Chief LaTonya Slade for sharing her story and taking the time to make this interview possible. LaTonya is an education advocate who practices consulting with compassion. If you or a family you know has a student with special learning needs, give LaTonya Slade a call at 757-776-8856. Now, if you are or know a Black Lady veteran who would like to sit down with me and be a part of this show, please email me at seasonedvetpodcast@gmail.com, or you can call or text message me at 713-254-0970. You can also find, follow, and inbox me, the Seasoned Vet, across all platforms of social media. At Real Seasoned Vet on Twitter, at Seasoned Vet Podcast on Instagram, at Seasoned Vet Podcast on TikTok, at Seasoned Vet on YouTube, Seasoned Vet on Facebook. Y'all, I'm so out there, I'm even on Spoutable. That's at the Seasoned Vet on Spoutable. Now, if you like what you heard, please like it, share it, rate it, and leave a good review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. And if you're hearing this episode on the day that it drops, then you're listening to it on the national holiday known as Beyonce's birthday. Today, the great Houston native turns 42 years old. So if you see her out and about today, remember, no you didn't. Thank you again for tuning in. And until next time, fall out.